Bonjour, welcome again to Therapy Thursday. I am now coming from Malibu, California. I am actually in the cliffs, or I walked down from the cliffs. It was a little scary. I was like, oh God, where am I going? But I found another secluded beach, y'all. Let me show you. Let's see, how can I turn it around? I'm gonna get this. Hold on. It's not letting me turn it around. Well, I'll just turn you guys around so you can see. So that's one of the famous scenes that they actually have had in movies, Hollywood movies. They've actually come here and had some amazing movies here and made this beach famous. So yeah, what beach is this? It's El Matador. I think I'm saying it right, beach. I think so. All right, well, welcome to Therapy Thursday. I'm glad that you made it again. So today's case study is one of my clients. It's actually a current client, so we're just gonna call her the professor. And the professor has had a issue regarding her identity, but not any kind of identity. She's had it where she knows who she is, but she has the imposter syndrome. So she's actively an amazing professor at a prestigious college here in America. And yet she is grieving, yet she is depressed, yet she is feeling like she is not, she is mediocre, she is not fulfilling the call on her life effectively, actually. And so when I had my meeting with her, the first meeting, and she was telling me all that she's done. And in fact, she has a PhD. She's at this particular college. She actually has tenure at a university, and that's a big feat to get. A lot of professors there, they're usually adjunct professors for a while, but she's made it to where they can't get rid of her unless she wants to say bye or she does something just very crazy. And so I asked her, I said, in my view, because I haven't received my PhD yet, but in my view, you're very successful, and you're walking in the dream that you're saying that you were aspiring to do, and you love what you do. So it wasn't like she wasn't doing her passion. She was doing her passion. However, she was measuring her self-worth against the other professors at this college. And so where she had 4 books that were published books in academia, she would measure herself to someone who had 5, 6, or 7. To where she would have 5 classes or 6 classes, she would measure herself to the professor that was able to have 8 or 9 classes in a semester. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today is, because we all have it. I know I've had it. I've had it to where I've actually felt like I'm not doing all that I'm supposed to be doing, or I look at someone else and it looks like they're just flying with effortless ease, and I'm like, Lord, what is going on? And we start questioning, am I even doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Is this even supposed to be what I'm supposed to be doing? Did you call me to this, Lord? And he wanted me to come to you out of Judges 6, starting at verse 11. And it reads, let's see. So, out of my cute little book, I love this book, my Bible, my little pink Bible. So starting at the 11th verse, it says, Then the angel of the Lord came and sat beneath the great tree of Ophrah, which belonged to Joash of the clan of Abazar. Gideon, the son of Joash, was threshing wheat at the bottom of a winepress to hide the grain from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said, Mighty hero, the Lord is with you. Sir, Gideon replied, if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? And where are all the miracles our ancestors told us about? Didn't they say the Lord brought us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and handed us over to the Midianites. Verse 14, Then the Lord turned to him and said, Go with the strength you have and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I am sending you." "But Lord," Gideon replied, "how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the whole tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least in my entire family." The Lord said to him, "I will be with you, and you will destroy the Midianites as if you were fighting against one man." Gideon replied, "If you are truly going to help me, show me a sign to prove that it is really the Lord speaking to me. Don't go away until I come back and bring my offering to you." And as the story goes on, Gideon continued to have tests and having God continue to reveal to him that yes, he had called him for such a time as that, and to be the deliverer for his nation. And that is the same with you. God has called you to do a great work. Either it's in the medical field, it's in academia, like the professor, or it's in ministry, or it's in business. Whatever it may be. It may be that God has put upon your heart to go on a mission trip and start working at an orphanage. Whatever it may be, it may seem bigger than you, bigger than life. But God wanted me to come and tell you today that even though it feels like it's weighty, even though it feels like it's heavy, you're going to grow into it because he is with you. He has strengthened you, and he is going to fulfill the greatness within you. And so God said for me to share with you today's lesson, which is to share the keys to break from the imposter syndrome. And this is a real thing because the professor is in my psychotherapy. So it's not my ministry. It is actually my, where I do psychotherapy with her. And this is real. She is struggling emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and even physically. It's hurting her body. She feels sick in her body. Let me sit up. I'm just leaning over. I'm getting all comfortable. I'm loving this place. Usually I just fall asleep or read a book, but I'm talking to you and I'm excited. And so God said he wanted me to share these keys. And so the first key is, you know the saying, if someone shows you who they are, believe it. And we throw that around. I know I've said it. I actually got it from my spiritual mom, and she says, if someone showed you who they are, believe it. Or I heard it from someone. I always equate some great stuff from my spiritual mom, but it could have been someone else. But that's the truth. And it can go all kind of ways. It can be that friend that is always being mean to you and you're trying to be supportive, but they're always backbiting and gossiping. Boo, she's showing you who she is. Believe her. That man that you're trying to be booed up with, and he has that Roman eye with every little shiny girl that goes by. Sweetie, believe him. He's showing you who he is. But the other side of that, has God showed you his goodness? Has God showed you that he provides for you in your time of need? And even when you don't have the need, he supplies all of what you want. You can just think a thing and it happens. Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me a lot. That even before I'm able to pray it out or decree it or declare it, God will bless me with it. And so has God ever showed you or healed your body? Believe him when he says that he's made you the head and not the tail. Believe him when he says that you are the apple of his eye. Believe him when he says that he has called you for such a time as this. Once you surrender to believing the word of the Lord over your life, and this is something that's very powerful. Have you ever had a prophetic word spoken of your life? What did you do with that word? I remember when I was ordained under the fivefold ministry gift under the Cindy Trim International, and it was actually recorded. Someone out of the audience, a woman I didn't even know, she recorded it and she blessed me with it. And God encouraged me. He said, "Daughter, I want you to write out every prophetic word that was spoken over your life by the prophets." And there was 3 prophets that spoke over my life. And it was a prophetic, pretty much like a prophetic charge over my destiny. And so I wrote it out. I even spoke it out myself with my voice. I listened to them when they spoke it out. And what was God having me do? He wanted it to become a part of my spiritual DNA. Even if I didn't believe it when they spoke it, because some of that stuff I was like, huh? Well, I'm going to do what? I'm going to go where? And God was like, yes, you're going to do that. You're going to go there. But sometimes we have to surrender to it and allow it to become a continual repetition in our mind, so it gets into our DNA spiritually and even physically. Because words are powerful, they're spirit. And when you speak it, it goes into us. It goes into our matter. It goes into our body. It goes into our spirit. It goes into our soul. And so hold on to it. Mule over it. Speak it over your life. Even if you don't feel it, say, I am great. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am going to be a billionaire, the first billionaire in my family. I'm going to do something great and mighty for the kingdom of God. I'm going to be an entrepreneur, not working for anyone else again. You have to speak it and believe it. Because when God says it, who can come against it? Nobody. The only thing that can happen is you can lay it down and it cannot come to pass. But that's not happening with us. Oh, no, it's not. 2022 is our year. It is our time. All right. So that's the first key. Believe it. Believe that you're great. Believe that you're called to do something amazing. Believe that you're a superstar. Believe that you're beautiful. Believe it, my love. So the second key, challenge the doubt in your mind with the truth. I'm going to say that again. Challenge the doubt in your mind with the truth. So with Miss Professor, with Miss Professor, that's where we went. In therapy, I had to go towards that doubting thought, go towards that negative, deceitful thoughts of her feeling like she had not accomplished anything, that she was not successful, and that she was measuring herself to someone else, and that the fact that she was looking at herself in a negative way. And so we went head on in on our first session, actually. We went on in and we started challenging that stuff. So how do you challenge it? Give yourself a time. First, you have to acknowledge what you've accomplished up to this date. I mean, from the time of your birth, you learned how to walk. You learned how to tie your own shoe. You learned how to put your own clothes on like a big girl, like a big boy. You went to school. You made friends. I mean, everything that you can say that you did is an accomplishment. How about this? You woke up. You pushed the button on this live recording, or this recording after it's live, and you listened to it. That's an accomplishment, that you wanted to invest in you. How about the fact that maybe you graduated from high school? If you didn't graduate, you got a GED. If you didn't get a GED, are you working? Are you showing up into life? Make a party. Have yourself a party with everything that is an accomplishment. Don't measure it to anyone else. I was reading today, actually, my spiritual mom, Dr. Cindy Trim's book. I wonder if I have it. I don't. Oh, I do, but I have the other copy. And so in the book, in the beginning of the book, she talks about when she went to school. She was dressed all nice and she went to go run in a race. And the race, she didn't understand what the race was about, but it was a take your shoes off, tie your shoes, and run race. But she did not know how to tie her shoes then. She was only 5 years old. And she had older siblings that tied her shoes for her. But she made a conscious choice in that moment. I'm not going to compete with the people that are running, the people that are gone on already. I'm competing with myself. And right now, I'm going to learn how to tie my shoe. And she did. She learned how to tie her shoe right there at the race with the help of one of her teachers. And that's what we have to do. We have to stand still and say, I'm not looking at her, him, or them. I'm looking at me in the mirror, and I'm competing with me in the mirror. What can I do better today? And I'm going to celebrate what I did yesterday as an accomplishment because I showed up. So I want you to create a positive, so then after that, so after you create a list of all the amazing things that you've done, and then I want you to make another list. And this list is a list of all the doubts you have regarding yourself. Write them all out, all that ugly stuff that comes in your mind, that floats in there, has a party in there. God's saying, write it on some paper. And then this is what you're going to do. You're going to find the equivalent positive to that negative. You're going to cancel that baby out. You're going to squash it up with a positive. And if you want to be a little fancy, I want you to find a scripture that also backs up that positive regarding to defeat that negative thought that we're challenging starting today. And so the next key is honor the one you are comparing yourself with. So we are human, and we would be considered liars if we said we do not compare ourselves to others. We don't look to others for, sometimes it's healthy. And that's what God wants us to do. We can look to others as a motivation. And that's how, God talks about the Gentiles and the Jews. He says he wants it to be that the Gentiles actually creates a jealousy for the Jews to bring them in to the fold, believing who the Messiah is. And so allow it to be more of a motivation for you to do better. Allow it to look at that person and honor that person. Instead of just looking from afar, go in a little deeper and encourage them. And if you see them on social media, say amazing things to them. It doesn't hurt to put a like. It's so easy. I look at that and I'm like, y'all so lazy. Just put a like. Just push the little button. If they're blessing you, if they're making you smile in your heart, just push the button, like it, or just say a little encouraging word. Or if you're shy regarding that, DM them. DM the person and just say, you know what? I'm loving your vibe. It's encouraging me. It's blessing my soul. I just want you to know I love it. Thank you. And I have a lot of people that do that for me, and I thank God for them. And guess what? Later on, because I've learned how to receive it, I receive it, give it a day or two, and I pour it right back at them. I give it right back at them, letting them know, I see you. I see what God is doing through you, and it's a beautiful thing. So honor the ones that you compare yourself with. Support them, love them, encourage them. And when you bless others, know this truth, my loves, God is going to bless you. And then the last key, live out your greatness every day. Gideon was called out by God. He wasn't called out by his daddy or by his mama or even by his cousin, his auntie, his uncle, granddaddy, if he was alive at that time. God himself called him out and told him, you are a great man of valor. Meaning you're going to be mighty in any battle that comes your way, Gideon. And so what has God spoken over you? Walk in it. Even if you don't feel it, even if you don't see it, even if you have no idea of even what to start doing, put it in your mind that you are it. If God said you're going to be the first and the best, act like the first, act like the best. Show up. I'm at a beach dressed up, y'all. What? If you guys could see this little outfit, I'll put a picture of it so you can see. At the beach with some cliffs. Why? Because it doesn't matter where I go, I'm going to show up and show out. Why? Because God told me to. And so it can get in my DNA of who I am and where he's taken me. And for what? It's for his glory. And so, my loves, those are the keys. Number one, believe it. Believe what God has said about you. Number two, challenge those negative thoughts, those negative doubt thoughts. Challenge it with your truth. Number three, honor those who you aspire to be like. Honor those that, I'm going to be real, that you might be jealous of. Honor them. And then number four, walk in who God's called you to be. We can't be like Gideon over and over asking for signs and wonders. No, we just got to believe what God has said. He said that you are the best. He said that you are great. So walk in it. Do it. Love who God has called you to be. And guess what, beloveds? The world is going to be a better place, a beautified place because of it. All right, so I'm going to do this one more time so you guys can see as I am pulling it to a close. Look at that. Oh, another couple's over there. Oh, no, I think that's a model over there by the cliff. That's the famous clip. I'm gonna find out the movies. I'm gonna put the movies on underneath too. There's still a few people here, y'all. Look what God will do. When you start walking in what you're called to do. I was feeling a little weird at first, dressed up in this, and you'll see why when you see my picture. But then I start seeing brides. I saw brides in their full wedding gowns. I was like, oh God, I can do this. Let's go. And so just walk in who God's called you to be, and walk out and be delivered from the imposter syndrome. It's your time, so walk in it and walk it bold. I love you. See you next time. Au revoir.